Self-leadership is comprised of two things. Number one, knowing yourself deeply. And number two, being able to take that information and actually do it to create action, to manage and lead yourself in the way that you show up in the best way possible. Thanks for tuning in. This is Jen Patterson with Agility Leadership Group, and we are on a mission to end miscommunication for leaders and companies. As leaders, we often get in our own way. And I find that one of the ways this shows up is through something called 6 repetitive questions. And I'm curious about which one is yours. That when the answer to the question is yes, you feel really good. But when the answer is I don't know or no, you may actually start to feel distress. The challenge with that is distress invites miscommunication. And as leaders, one of our primary functions is to communicate. The goal here is to bring awareness of patterns that are running you. If you're aware of them, they no longer have the power. So you can pay attention to when they're showing up and be able to address that need effectively instead of letting it run you. So today we're going to discuss 3 of the repetitive questions, and we'll cover the other 3 in another video. Number 1, am I competent? Well, this is important, and actually 20% of the population is asking this question over and over and over and over again. Competence is that driving thing within you. Are you going to engage in a project or in information that you don't feel competent in? And are you going to work with someone who you don't really think is very competent? All right, so the second question is, am I loved? This may seem soft, but it's really not, and actually 30% of the population is asking this question, so it's important. If you are asking this repetitive question, how likely are you to call out a colleague or to step into a conflict or to do the hard thing when it comes to people? And number 3, am I trustworthy? This is spoken by about 10% of the population. It's their repetitive question. And if that's the repetitive question that's driving you, how does that have an impact on the relationships that you're trying to build to do the work you do? So trust is an important thing. I was working with an executive team, and several of the people on the team had this as their driving question. And one of the things that was happening is there had been some events along the way where people had broken trust. They didn't understand the values of the other person and had crossed a line. And because of that, they weren't working with each other, and in fact were actively sabotaging each other. When that's the case, it makes it hard for business to move forward. Business is about relationships, and if you can't trust someone, it's very hard to build a connection. So we covered our first 3 questions. Am I competent? Am I loved? Am I trustworthy? In our next video, we're going to cover the 3 additional repetitive questions. See which one is the question that is driving and motivating you, and use it as a positive thing, and recognize where it sometimes gets in your way.